This is the Hidden Killers podcast with Tony Brueski,
featuring retired FBI Special Agent Jennifer Coffindaffer.
One thing that a lot of people, including us, have been saying is, how did this go undetected for so long? A lot of neighbors saying, look, no one was looking the other way. Everybody is saying we weren't. Several of us tried to help, one neighbor commented, saying, I know people left food on doorsteps knowing the kids might not be eating. I know people were making phone calls to DCFS, to the police. People really did try and care. The thing that they say held it back was actually law that they have in Utah called the free-range parenting law, where you can essentially, if the kids are of an age that they believe to be of responsible consent or responsible being alone, you can leave them alone. Unless there's injuries, they can't go in. They can't do anything about that. A lot of neighbors saying that they believe Ruby would leave for weeks at a time, and they'd call and complain about that because no kids were injured or visibly injured. They couldn't do anything. It was almost a law preventing the law from working and checking on the children. Thoughts on that?
Oh, I understand the first part of that, right? That at a certain age, a child could be left alone. But again, there's usually time limits on that, for being able to be on your own and it not being dangerous to the child. In many states, it's about 12 years old, that age is, but there's a time limit and it's not weeks and it's not days. So that is, that law that they have in Utah is in many states, but it's completely absurd to stretch that law to cover what was going on in this situation. Separately from that situation is neglect, starvation, harming a child through those means. And in this case, that is the allegations. And I think they're going to be proven. And I just think that Child Welfare Services in Utah has a lot of splaining to do, because there's no way you can hide behind the law that they're talking about and explain starvation and neglect.
No, that is no way, that there's no way to explain something like that. But there is something that I thought was interesting with what you said, where there's these laws in other states as well. You're right. However, we are talking about Utah. And every time we talk about Utah, things are always just a little bit odd or different or don't quite make sense in so many of the legal ramifications in cases. Not in any way that I think it should be allowing this sort of behavior. But I do wonder, where's the gray area? How much gray area do they allow in that state versus others, where maybe that did play a factor in allowing this to continue on the way that it did? Let's go ahead.
Out of all the states there are, Utah is where you're going to see the most liberal application. I agree with you in terms of these sort of parenting, free range decisions.
You're consuming the Hidden Killers podcast.
Want more? Start binging on all of our true crime podcasts right now through Apple Podcasts and get an ad-free experience when you sign up to be a True Crime Today Premium Plus member exclusively on Apple Podcasts.
More of the Hidden Killers podcast dropping soon.
Press subscribe now.